Во-первых, я еще девушка.
Ты обратил внимание, что ты меньше аплодировали, чем до этого, когда...
В темноте. Очень хорошо аплодировали в темноте.
Когда никто не уходил.
Друзья, я знаю, как выжить аплодисменты. Дилан уже за сценой. Давайте поаплодируем, ему будет приятно. Учись. Я помню, однажды я сказал: Борисов, за сценой поаплодируйте, и в меня полетели камни. Ну,
да, потому что все ждали, что я это скажу про тебя.
Друзья, есть прекрасный повод сегодня отлично провести время. Не все понимают, на каком мероприятии они присутствуют. Это не просто веселый вечер с одним из культовых стендаперов мира. Впервые в России, не только в Питере, англоязычный юморист к нам приехал. Давайте этому поаплодируем. Это культовое событие в истории российского шоу-бизнеса.
Я удивлен, что ты их объясняешь, это люди, которые уже пришли. Если бы ты делал вчера на площади, у вас...
Подожди, зачем? Билеты были раскуплены в первый день на восстания. Я там раздаю листовки, все в порядке. Да. Друзья, очень важный момент. Поаплодируйте люди, потому что темно и не видно, если я попрошу поднять руки. Поаплодируйте, кто взял вот эти специальные переводчики. Там...
Здравствуйте, ребята!
Так. Остальные наглецы, которые думают, что они что-то понимают.
Я не настолько, да.
Слушайте, я призываю остальных тоже это сделать, потому что, во-первых, ваш upper intermediate мало чего стоит.
Да, до знакомства с Диланом я думал, что я знаю английский. А когда я услышал, я ему сказал: Дилан, ну это же явно ирландский, какой же это английский?
Да, прикол в том, что Дилан ирландец. Кто учил в школе английский или жил в Америке, хрен поймете, что это. Так что бегите, берите.
Поэтому Игорь вот там в другом зале дает концерт на русском. Вот там в другом зале. Бесплатно.
Да, а тех, у кого уже есть, я хочу еще раз вам сказать, как этим пользоваться. Значит, смотрите, если вдруг перестанет работать, надо жать на кнопку, как в России, надо бить, когда заработает. Жать на кнопку, красная замигает, заработает. Всегда надо держать на пятом канале. Там
придерживать рукой, ты главное заземлиться ногой, тогда работает. Поняла? Все очень просто. Ты главное кричи, не работает громко. Во время концерта прям не стесняйся.
Что сейчас? Мигать? Нет, само пикает.
Милая дама.
Убегайте.
Милая дама, второй час уже идет концерт. Что у вас там? Что переводят? Мы просто включили диск и все. Это розыгрыш. Дилан не приехал. Откуда здесь? Радуется только ваш бойфренд, который заплатил за концерт, и все. Только он рад. Я тебе говорил, не пойдем. Я представляю, как вы. Дилан Моран. Кто? Дилан Моран, дай 6 тысяч. Сколько?
Что?
Ты воля дешевле стоит.
Да. Давай лучше на Михайлова пойдем. Рассказать про Михайлова?
Нет.
Давайте очень быстро мы уходим. Мы очень хотим привести еще одного культового стендапера.
Стаса Михайлова.
Менее культового.
Мир вам и вашему дому. Храни вас Господь, дорогие мои, хорошие.
Менее культового. Хотим привести его в следующем году. И уже пошли договариваться с большим концертным залом Октябрьский, потому что человек будет серьезный.
В Октябрьском нам милая женщина говорит: я понимаю, да, это суперзвезда, да. Я говорю, 20 тысяч собирает. Она говорит, да, это очень выгодно, но не могу. В чем дело? День рождения Стаса Михайлова.
В эту дату никак. Ну, пожалуйста, если мы заключим договор, у вас уже есть договор с Михайловым? Нету. Давайте с нами заключим договор, и все, мы забронируем БКЗ Октябрьский. Нет, вы не понимаете.
Он обещал мир мне и моим.
Нет, вы не понимаете. Позвонят такие люди, которым мы не сможем отказать. Да. И мы должны сейчас в Лондон позвонить и объяснять им. You know Стас Михайлов? You know Пол Маккартни сакс? Стас Михайлов. Да. Ну и что, о чем ты разговаривал сегодня с Диланом? Мы сегодня встречали Дилана в аэропорту, Антон имел с ним непродолжительную беседу.
Да.
Что ты сказал? Антон сказал все, что он знает по-английски.
Who is it today? I am it today. Who is it absent? I am absent. Marijuana may come in. Да, Борисов, заходи. Это весь мой фурор. Фурор произвел я.
Короче, я надеюсь, что сейчас будет все не так.
Надо это сделать как-то шикарно. Концерт состоится.
Несмотря на то, что у тебя там что-то мигает.
Все хорошо. Вы ешьте. А вы там. Итак, специально для вас.
Ну что, дорогие друзья, сейчас прям такой момент, я аж вспотел.
А я тоже, как-то вообще, я не думал, что в России... Давай, как бы я на русском, а ты там как-то, чтобы он понял, что он выходил.
Я могу...
Дамы и господа, на сцене Дилан Моран!
Дилан Моран!
Добрый вечер, Питер. No, thank you. This is, oh, thank you. Spasiba. This now? Open this now? I don't know. So look, this is an experiment. And, I mean, this whole thing, this evening, me, you, here, now, in Russia. So I don't know what's going to happen exactly. It could be, you know, it could be awful, or it could be fantastic, make history. But just let me open this first. It's a picture, it's a thank you, oh good. It says, thank you for your art, it helps me to live. Okay, and well, it might help me to live, because if anybody throws anything, I can go, but, so I don't know, my Russian, as you will gather, is really very small, and your English, I don't know how good it is. Can you understand everything I'm saying so far? Okay, fine. Because I don't want to come in with some patronizing Western attitude. It's not like I'm talking to, you know. You see, the thing is, Russians are shown to people like me. I've never been here before. We grow up with these images of Russia and Russians. You know, in Hollywood films, Russian people, if they're women, they're always very hurt and mysterious. They say things like, I can't talk about it now. Or ever. It was a long time ago and it doesn't matter anyway. Nothing matters now. No, I don't want to eat. And if they're men, they're either geniuses or psychopaths, or both. They tend to be, in Hollywood movies, they tend to be villains. They tend to be, you know, the bad guy. And they have some crazy physical feature, like they don't have a left hand, they just have an electronic stapler, or a meat hook or something. And they say things like, you know, Bruce Willis is, how do you say that in Russian? Bruce Willis. He's tied to a chair, and the bad Russian man is saying, since I come to your country, it's very easy for me to make bomb. Because I have many years of study. When you spend all your time outside eating hamburgers, playing baseball, I have many years of study, and so I can make nuclear bomb from milk bottle and potato. That's generally how Russians are presented. And it might not be the full picture. Possibly. You know? Now I am trying to learn Russian, but it is a very difficult language, as you may not know. But it's very difficult. So let me see, you know, Dobry Veche, I got that right, I think. Yeah, Shpion. That's correct. Okay. Nikamu не говорите. Ты тоже шпион. Меня не проведешь. I'm learning. It's taking time. I'm learning. I might even try the second bit. Well, maybe it's too early. It's too early. I will save this. But I know that you are all spions. So I'm very excited to be here. The thing is, you know, because we get told. I realized when I was researching Russia, when I was looking into Russia, that I have grown up with a lot of. There is such a thing as propaganda. You are told to think in a certain way about a particular place. And I realized that it's not necessarily the case. You know, you obviously have your own views on the West and America and so on. Now I heard, speaking to people, that you have a bunch of people who watch television, and then there's people who go on the internet, and Mr. Putin called them, I think they called them internet hamsters. So I don't know how many of you are internet hamsters and how many of you watch television, But it doesn't really matter. Mr. Putin has a particular image in the West of and that's the English version, and the American version is but now, of course, there's corruption in all politics. In all politics, you know, it's very hard to believe in anything. I know religion is very important in Russia. Now, you have to believe in something. And for some people, it's religion. That's what works for them. I come from a very religious country, Catholic country, and it's a great religion because it has a lot of shame. All great religions have a lot of shame. Protestant is not a great religion as far as I'm concerned because people are too casual. They go to church and they sing and they go home and they do whatever they want. They don't really mind. But if you're Catholic, you feel bad all the time. And that's a great religion. If you see a biscuit, you know what a biscuit is? A biscuit. I'm trying. It's guts in it. You feel bad because you think you might eat it. So you feel bad before you eat it, while you're eating it, and afterwards. And you lie around going, I feel so bad now, nothing can help me. Nothing! Except cocaine. That's how it works. I think clapping is very important in this country. Where I come from, people just laugh. But you've got a more formal structure. That's fine. That's okay. You laugh through your hands. I can go with that. Maybe you cry through your knees. Who knows? It's early. It's very early. It's important to express emotion. I'm a very emotional person. All Irish people are very emotional. I think Russians are very emotional too. Now, there hasn't been that many meetings between Irish people and Russian people. Yeltsin came to Ireland. I don't know if you saw this. This happened. I remember this. He came in the airplane. It landed. Everybody was there. The president, everybody, red carpet, the band. Mr. Yeltsin, Mr. Yeltsin. The plane stayed on the runway. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And everybody's there going, they played the tune again. Mr. Yeltsin, nothing, nothing, nothing. And they went, here's my question, wait. How drunk do you have to be? Wait, to not get out of the plane in Ireland. That's really fucking drunk. Because everybody who went to meet him was drunk, they wouldn't have cared. Anyway. That's the history of Irish-Russian relations. That's all that ever happened. So I know, and there's a lot of stereotypes about Russian people, about drinking and vodka and alcoholism. And you're tired of that. Of course you are. Of course you are. It's depressing, especially if you're drinking heavily. And it's the same in Ireland. We're tired of that. We're very tired. You know, people make jokes about us drinking whiskey and so on. But I mean, if you are drinking, many of you are drinking, some of you are drinking wine, it's a very civilized drink. Because you drink it for a little while, you have a glass of wine, you eat something, you talk to people, and then at 1 in the morning, one of you says, let's go ice skating in Finland. We can get a lift, I know a guy. You see, it's fine. Beer is not so good. Beer is just a thing made by food companies to make you eat more. If you drink a lot of beer, then you walk the streets late at night and you see, there's a policeman, let's fry him. Then you leave the streets. You eat anything. And I've always found vodka is very dangerous because it's a very deceptive drink. It's a spion. You don't know what's going on. You can't taste it. You can't smell it. You drink it. You go, why are we drinking this? It's completely rubbish. It's not doing anything. Why are we on top of the library? Whiskey is what people drink in Ireland, and it's very dangerous because it turns you into two people. One of you is very nice. You go up to people you've never met before, total strangers, and say, welcome, welcome, come into my house, sleep in my bed with me. And then you turn around to people you've known all your life and say, get out! Fuck off, leave a tip. So you have to be very careful. But it's very important to enjoy yourself. And it gets more difficult as you get older. If you're a young person, many of you are young people, probably the intelligentsia of Petersburg, Since, as far as I understand, there aren't any in Moscow. That's what I've been told. That's what people say here so far. They know nothing. Yes, you agree. That's how surprising. They're all just idiots, farmers, locked in apartment buildings, trying to grow sausages. There's something wrong with them. And here is where all the culture is. You have everything you have to do. Dostoevsky was here, and Gogol, and all those other crazy fun guys. Who, party people, Gogol, who can forget his, that trick he did with the napkin and the forks and the tablecloth and everything. He was wild. Dostoevsky, he was a gas. He would always do that trick of leaving the glass of water on top of the door when people would come in at parties. No, he didn't. He wrote Crime and Punishment, which makes your eyes bleed when you read it. It's so depressing. And I love Russian literature, but there's a lot of it. The books they're very good value. You read a Russian story, and then you don't finish it. You hand it on to your grandchildren so they can finish it. They're long. They're very long. I even noticed that here when people are talking. I've made some Russian friends already, and I'll say something, and one of them will translate, and I'll say, where's the spoons? And people will go, 15 minutes later, the guy says, spoons. And maybe it's because everything is very, it's very complex. But you see, I'm an Irish person. How do you say that? Is it Irlansky? No? Did I make that up? It sounds like I made it up. Irlansky? Okay, thank you. Yes, that's me. But I live in Scotland. I don't know what that is. It's like Glasgow. Yes, it's yeah, but there's other bits. We have squirrels as well, and they. But it's like here in that the winters are very long, they're very hard, it's very dark, it's very cold, and that does things to you. It shapes you. It makes you. Because if you can't go outside, you go inside. A lot of the time. Dark, cold. And you see, certainly in Scotland, you see women going out on Friday or Saturday night, and it's very cold, it's very dark, and they're wearing very little clothing. And people laugh at them, but there's a reason for that. The reason they go out like that is because the winter is hard. The first 14 months of the winter are okay, and then you get a bit tired. You get tired of opening your front door to rain going up your nose, in blackness, everywhere. So the woman thinks, fuck this shit, I'm going out. And she buys an outfit that costs more than all her other clothes put together, even though it only weighs 1/10 of an ounce, or a gram, as you might say. I don't know, how do you measure it in meters? I'm not sure. And it's the color of nuclear fusion. And just about covers the entry points to her body, because she's giving a message with this piece of clothing. She's saying, I'm going out, I don't want to talk to you unless you are a taxi or a doorman or somebody disguised as a vodka. Leave me alone. It's very important to do that. And the dark creates certain things. The dark creates certain cultural conditions. The dark creates certain kinds of music. Now here in Russia, I understand you have a lot of folk music. Is this true? No, it's not. That's old Russia. Yes? Yes, you're all new Russians. Okay, so then you have a lot of heavy metal. Exactly, this is the kind of music that comes out of the dark. And heavy metal is a very interesting kind of look. You know, all musical forms have their own look. There's jazz, and people are very loose. They're wearing green shirts with blue ties and pink trousers and shoes too complex to describe. And because they're saying, I work for me. And my job is to play the electrified tractor horn till 5 in the morning, so fuck you. And you get something like heavy metal, and it's an interesting look. It's an argument. It's an argument against Darwinism. You know Charles Darwin? The Origin of the Species. It's an argument against that. Because what the people who are into heavy metal are saying is that attraction is not necessary for reproduction. That's why they shave all the hair off where it would naturally be and grow in places where it shouldn't be, like inside their throats. And they pierce everything. And that's why the music is so angry. If you shave all the hair off your ass and then get into a pair of leather trousers, you're going to sing an angry song. It's not going to be some ballad about that crazy summer in Paris with Justine. It's going to be much more death for breakfast, little pots of death in my eye. Heavy metal is what happens when a group of competitively disgusting-looking people come together to try to kill air. And the dark creates all kinds of things. The dark creates dinner parties. Now, in Saint-Petersburg, which is a famous cultural center, you have a tradition of long conversation, long into the night. Now, this began, I'm convinced, it was started by women. I think what happens is, in the winter, women get tired of looking at the man in their house. So they say, let's get some other bastards round. Or go to some other bastard's house. I can't stand this anymore. I can't stand the noise you make eating soup. It's just, please, I'm going to kill you unless we get some other people in this house. So they invite people around. And it's, men don't really want to do that. Because the thing is, it becomes socially competitive. When you're a young person, many of you are young. If you're in your 20s, it's not a competition. You go out eating and drinking and talking with your friends. It's not about how nice the food is or how fancy the place is, how swank it is. It's about talking. You get older and it becomes about display. So you arrive at someone's house and they say, oh, can we give you the tour? No. I don't want to see your shit. I have a house full of shit myself at home. I really don't want to see your things. I wouldn't be here except this woman doesn't want to look at me anymore, okay? I only came here because I understood you had a chicken. I thought this was a food gig. Where's the food? But you can't even enjoy it on that level anymore because people have become too competitive. They've watched too many cookery programs. You watch the cookery program when the person is getting the mushrooms and they're sticking it into the pig's nose and then frying it in the fish's urine. What do you mean, no? You don't have cookery programs? What, nobody learned anything? You just make it up? You run out of pig and suddenly it's a salad? What? What do you mean, no? This is universal. There are tribes in the Gobi Desert sitting around watching people fucking fry eggs in a new way. There are people out there on the steppe who are poaching rabbits. What the fuck do you mean you haven't seen a cookery program?
Just eating the beets alive.
What?
Eating the beets alive.
You eat them alive?
Yeah.
Yes, of course, but you have to have the right sauces. I mean, the point is with this complex nonsense that you watch this rubbish, you don't cook like that. You sit there with your shopping, dipping bread in anything that's wetter than bread. Watching this. So you can't, I went to these people's houses and they freaked me out because they were trying to be very fancy, so they had starters, They brought out these little things. I had a panic attack. I thought we were going to eat. What the fuck is this? A prawn pole dancing on a breadstick. Where's the food? You can't relax people like that. If you wanted people to relax, you have to give them simple, traditional food. Here is a beautiful Irish recipe I will share with you. It's called, it's called my babushka chicken. That's what it's called in Ireland. It's a very simple recipe, okay? You get a chicken. You get a chicken. Make some calls. You know some people, get a chicken. Go fancy, get a dead one. And then what you do is, and then my grandmother used to make this. She was a very beautiful, spiritual human being. And you get a chicken. What she always used to say was, it doesn't matter how big the fucker is, they all have a neck. So you get the chicken. Another thing she used to say was, never get involved with more than 11 people sexually at one time. Don't do it. You cannot keep them all happy. You get confused, work on the farm deteriorates, forget about it. And so you get the chicken. Another thing she used to say was, the quickest way to start your own religion is kill something big and make up a catchy song about it. But anyway, you get a chicken. And you don't mess around with starters. You just get little things people like. A bag of French fries, chips, whatever you call them here. A Big Mac, I don't know, a Mars bar, all those things. put them on the outside of the chicken on cocktail sticks. You don't fuck around in stores. People work from the outside in, and you put a chocolate cake inside the chicken. So that when people think it's finished, you go, no! Surprise! And they love you. You just have to treat people like human beings. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that hard, is it? Even if you don't speak any English, you can feel the soul of what I'm saying. I'm talking about being with other people and not caring. Sharing your jam. Okay, in Soviet times there was no jam, but you would share the bowl. You would say, look at my bowl. And then have a laminated chocolate biscuit and take it out and wave it around so everyone can get a good fucking look at it. Okay. I feel we've broken the ice. It's time to treat you to more of my Russian. This is all I've learned so far. So you're all spion. Now this word is a bastard. I need something to help me. Wait 1 minute. What is a minute in Russian? Yeah, it's about 10 as far as I've worked out so far. Somebody says minute and they appear 3 days later. But so you're all spions. Wait a minute. Paradini drugую сторонню работу на нас. I'll try again, wait a minute. Сейчас. Paradni на другую сторону в работе на нас. You understood that, didn't you? Yeah. Wait a minute. Я заказнитазерую. Wait a minute. Я заказнитазерую. Тебе свой фальшнепняй ложка. Do you understand? Didn't you people go to school? Я заказнитазерую. GPS 5 Balnash by Loshka. Yes. I will hypnotize you with my special spice spoon. It's quite simple. It's not like I'm doing anything difficult here. Wait a minute. Smatrini Neil. Wait! That's it. No, it's complex. Повторя за мной. Я ненавижу Толстого. Я обожал Симпсонов. Моя миссия завершена. That means my work is done. Kind of. God, that was a lot of work for one joke. No, don't laugh. Don't laugh. It's not like I want to think you like me or anything. It's so strange to be in a place where people are smoking. You know, I have, God, give me one. I haven't done this in years, thank you. In a club. There's a totally different attitude to health here. Thank you. Because, you know, you're told all the time you got to be healthy in where I'm from. You're not really allowed to enjoy anything anymore. You know, and I don't know, why does everybody want to live to be so long anyway? Go on, keep going. You know, be 90, have sex, jump up and down when you're 95. Wear those sexy dentures and tracksuit bottoms and run around and be a fucking sexy cripple. the right idea. You just fucking tank stuff, and then, you know, you make it to 50, it's anybody's guess, and then everything else after that is a bonus. That's not negative, it's just a different attitude. I'm sure a lot of you are very healthy. A lot of you are new Russians. You people have made a lot of money. You're very wealthy. Yes, yes. Okay, so none of those people came. It's just the intelligentsia. Broke-ass people who speak 9 languages. Well, you know, the thing is, wherever you are in this complex society of yours, you observe the same social situations. You still have the idea of chivalry here. This is correct? Where men are very in front of women. But this is, you know, this is true of all men everywhere, really. Men are more romantic than women. That's the truth. Yes, wait. Yes. I'm not going to make huge generalizations about women because that's vulgar and mean. But they have no feelings. It's men who you will hear say, I met this woman, she's amazing, I love her so much, I have to be with this person. If I don't get to be with this woman, I'm going to die. I'll be an alcoholic, I'll live in some terrible apartment, I'll have some horrible cat who sneezes all the time. Everything will be terrible if I don't get to be with this woman. Nothing is worth anything. That's how women feel about shoes. It is men who talk about female beauty all the time. You hear them. I met this woman, she's extraordinary. She has the most amazing knees. They're like a sunset. Her wrists, the inside of her wrists, I would walk over the faces of my own friends just to smell her wrists. And when she walks behind you, you can hear her breasts. She's an extraordinary woman. You don't get women talking like that about male beauty. They don't give a shit. You never hear a woman say, oh, I miss Ivan. He had such beautiful balls. It doesn't happen. Partly this is because the female form has been appreciated by people for millennia, for thousands of years, all over the world, and celebrated in art. Not so the male figure, not so much. And this is because if you look at women, they look like they were designed by like gay Italian men. They're amazing. They're molto curves, more hair, there's some stuff, and the secret thing. Get them out of here. Men look like they were designed by some late double shift in Estonia, where everybody was under a lot of pressure, and they got, I don't know, stick, block, thing, there we go, thing, I don't know. It'd be great. We forgot to give them genitals. Bring them back. They've got no Peter. Bring them back. There's no genitals there. Use some of the elbow scrag left over from the women. There we go. That's fine. That's why male genitalia is so depressing. It looks like something hanging out of the side of a shark's mouth. Doesn't matter what you do with it. You can put a velvet cape around it and a gold crown. It still looks like a fucking piece of roadkill. But then, the thing is that I'm just talking about men and women. Saint-Petersburg recently passed some pretty impressive laws for the gay community. That's a very backward step. Yes, it is. The straight people have a lot to learn from gay people. There's a lot of honesty in that community. I was somewhere not that long ago. I was reading a newspaper, and it was personal ads. You know, personal ads. People looking for people. And this is men looking for men. So I didn't understand all of the language. But I was very impressed by the honesty. Because it said things like brown/green, okay, hairy and versatile, which is good. There's no point being hairy unless you can turn a few tricks. It said mainly top. Mainly, I'm top. But we'll do most things. And people say romance is dead. But my favorite ad on the page just said, anything! I will do anything! That is a beautiful position to be in. To know you can turn up at your friend's house and say, here is the bowl of borscht. Here is my saxophone. Where's the cat? Because when we pack this baby full and you blow a high C, that cat has to go over the roof. I want to see beetroot spray everywhere. Otherwise, we don't get to eat my shoes. Wonderful honesty. It's very boring in straight culture. You look at the person who has good sense of humor. I like country walks and jazz. Oh, fuck off. Tell people the truth. I want you to come around to my house, sit on my head, and insult my furniture. Why is there this terrible fear of homosexuality? It's ridiculous. I grew up in a very repressive country in that way. You know, you couldn't talk about it. Everybody used to use euphemisms. I thought I was growing up in a musical family. They wouldn't even say the word, they would make a sound. You heard about Mary and John and the ding dong? What? What are you talking about? Oh, well, apparently it's all still a bit. What do you mean? Well, you know what they say about John. No, I don't. What did they say about John? Well, apparently he's still, you know. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, you want me to spell it out? I have to spell this stuff out? Yeah, spell it out. What are you talking about? Well, they say, you know, he's still picking up twigs in the springtime. What are you talking about? So, anyway, I'm getting off the main point. There isn't really a point. You can see that by now, I think. It's like a Russian novel. I have to check the time. I don't know when I started. Actually, maybe I should stop now for a bit. Yes? Yeah. No, look, it's hot. It's hot. It's very hot. So walk around and fan air at each other, spray water, and then I'll come back and we'll do some more. Go on, take a break and see you in a minute.
Don't do it!
Yeah, play it. I declare I was honest. I said I was a spion, and now you're trying to these things. You see, this is fine. This is fine if you're a child. What's a child in Russian? Медёнок? A ribionok. When you're a ribionok, you eat this. You just turn it into extra miles to run. Into kilometers you can run. You get old, you eat this, you turn it into extra people to carry your coffin. Is that it? Is that all I got? There's nothing. So, no, some people go on stage, women throw themselves. I get paid. And paintings. Thank you for the painting. That won't kill me.
We can be sure.
That's great. So, anyway, what I really wanted to say was no more food. No, I don't need a cigarette. I need a surgeon. A specialist. Okay, get up here. Get a tube. Stick it in right now and start pumping. So look, listen, be quiet. Thank you. I love the interactivity, the fact that you're all engaged. I'm thrilled. But I'm talking now. Shut up. Autocracy. So here we go. No more. No. Yeah. So now look, what did you do in the little time there? In the interval, the gap, the break? You went drink. You had a drink. And you talked. Okay. Well, that's good. In Western Europe, people would just drink. So you see, you drank. That's what you did with your time. You know what I did? I made art. That's what I do. I can't help it. If I don't make art, I'll die. You know, I'm like a shark in a beret. It's a joke. I'm not serious. I drank. But you know, the fact is, here I am. I'm talking. I'm a man. And like all men, even. I'm forgetting English now. All men. I think I'm, you know, a crude toy. All men do. All men think they're cool. All of them. And partly it's middle age. You know middle age? Yeah. You're not young, you're not old, you're just... you're this.
Thank you.
Yes. You're this. You know the type. And it's a strange thing. People go strange in middle age, especially men. They get a hobby, which is a very difficult word to translate. You have probably something ridiculous in Russian like hobby, but you get obsessed with certain things. You know, some people they get into sport or they just huge lumps of wood. They say, I need to be alone with my huge lump of wood. Don't bother me. And my thing was, I got addicted to action films. You know, really stupid films?
Yeah.
Where, like modern thrillers, where people are running around. And it's not like the old-fashioned one, where, you know, it's like James Bond, and you always know what's going on, because he's in a suit, and there's a lady in a frock, and they've got a nice car, and he says, and then they go to Monte Carlo to have sex forever. And not like that. Modern ones where you don't know what's going on, you don't know what the story is, and neither does the hero. Neither does the crew toy. And you know, like ones where it begins, he has amnesia, he doesn't know anything, he's running across a desert, and he picks numbers off cactuses, cacti to be strictly in English about it, plural. But and then he finds out who he is, and suddenly he's on a boat, and he kills 11 people with a slice of ham, and he discovers he's an amazing chef who can control sauces by looking at them, and then, you know, even better if it's got Jason Statham. Statham? You know the one I mean, him. That's my impression. It's they're brilliant, those films. They're perfect. They can't be any stupider, because it begins with him being thrown out of an aeroplane. He's got one wire attached from his heart going to his arsehole, another one going from his brain to his penis. If he pulls the wrong wire, he swallows his eyes and vomits his liver. But because he's such a man, he always makes the right decision. He pulls the whole thing out, you see? Because most men can't make decisions. They don't know what they're doing. They walk into McDonald's and they go, I don't know. That's what most men are like. Which is why often societies demand siloviki. Did I get that slightly wrong? Or totally wrong? Hard people, strong people, people who don't wear shirts. And they require that to lead their society. I can only trust somebody who doesn't wear shirts when he's fishing. And they or on a horse, or just walking around generally. No trousers would be better, but no shirt. I'll settle for no shirt, that's fine. You know, you can trust somebody who's not wearing a shirt because they can't conceal any weapons. And they, unless they have missiles in their socks. But they, I didn't quite catch that, but I think it was quite good. I liked your tone. They, you know, all men think they're cool. You can't help that. And but men are constantly envious of women, of their sensitivity, of the way they know things. You know, if a woman, if you're with a woman and she goes to meet a friend, she comes back and says, "Oh," and you say, "How was your friend?" And they say, "Oh, well, you know, it's not great. They're not very well. They're quite ill, and they're having an affair, and they might lose their job." And you think, well, you just had a cup of coffee in 15 minutes. How did you find all that out? She told you all this? Oh no, she didn't say anything, but she didn't finish the cup of coffee. And they can work all that out. If you're a man, it's very simple. In conversation with another man, it's your turn to talk when he has the drink up to his face. He takes it away and then he's on again. And you don't remember what either of you say because your heads are filling up with fluid. And then you go home to your wife or girlfriend who says, "Well, how were they? What did they say?" "Oh, I don't know." "You were together for 7 hours. What the fuck did you do?" "I don't know. We just had a drink. Shut up. Go away." Women have a different operating system. Women have all kinds of things that men don't have. Women have memories. Short, medium, and long. Pamyat is in them. Did I mispronounce that? Did I say coleslaw or something instead? They have women, all women have coleslaw with them at all times. They carry it around. No, they have a memory. They know things. This is why women keep things. They save things. I remember a time when all women were very feminine and all men were very masculine. I think it's probably still like that in Russia to a degree. You know? Well, okay, hang on. I'm talking about a time when a woman would have what was called women's things. You would go to a gathering of people, a party, and somebody wouldn't be there, and you'd say, "Well, where is Anna?" And they'd say, "Oh, she's not here." "Well, why not?" "Well, she has women's things." And you respected that. Nobody knew what women's things were, but you respected that. She could have been at home polishing onions with her feet, throwing jam at the ceiling. It didn't matter. You didn't ask questions. This was back in the time when men were men. When men received phone calls, important phone calls, in a bar, on a landline. "Yes, hello." When men had hats and were often seen carrying a pig. Men died in bars holding a pig. They were just hauled. This was when men were not fashion conscious. They didn't shave off their hair if they were losing their hair. They were proud of their purely theoretical hair. They had long comb-overs like this. Irish hair. Or that very thin hair. That very thin hair that stands up at the back, this with the light shining through it. You can see the wallpaper behind. Purely theoretical hair. This was back in the time when every single woman had a vanity table, a dressing table in the bedroom, to have somewhere to sit and weep. Somewhere to sit and cry about all the terrible things that had been done to her by men. And she kept a hat box, a box for hats. I don't know why I'm repeating every phrase thinking it wasn't clearer. Hat box seems mysterious in some way, but a box you keep hats in, everybody can understand. She would keep it full of special things. The bus ticket to that trip to Minsk. A little jar of special plutonium. The dead fox's eye he gave her one time. Just whatever. Some bear shit. Stuff in a box. She would keep it because they have memories. A bundle of letters tied up with string. The letters were kept not because she wanted to read them. She couldn't even look at them. They were too emotional. They must be kept so they can never be looked at or thrown away. Memories of what you said 17 years ago. Or the way you looked just half a minute ago. Men don't have memories in that way. A man does not know when his life became so totally shit. When everybody else turned into an asshole. A man does not know how he came to be holding the hamburger in his left hand at 1 in the morning. It just happened. And scientists say this is, part of the mystery of consciousness and how mysterious the brain is. That's bullshit. The brain only has 3 bits. There's the front bit, the middle bit, and the back bit. The front bit is the bit that makes up excuses. The middle bit is the bit that forgets. And the back bit is the one that remembers the last song that was on in the bar before you left. And then you get home, and the women will say, "Where were you? You said you'd be home. Where were you?" I was talking to Kevin. I don't know. You can move it, you can shake it. You can do it, you can do it. You want some hamburger? No, I'm speaking in very broad sexist terms about everybody. I understand that. And I'm in an audience of progressive people. I'm aware of that also. Internationalists who have come here to foment. That's a difficult verb to translate it. But like I say, I'm middle-aged. I don't know, I'm probably out of touch. A lot of you are more aware than I am of what's going on in the world. What do I know? I'm some grumpy, lumpy, middle-aged guy. I have children. That's all I know. A lot of you don't have children. A lot of you are very young. And of course, in a way, it's easier to be young. Of course, the world is easier when you're 25. Because it's all about you. You wake up in the morning, you talk rubbish. Absolute bullshit. You walk around looking for somebody to go to bed with. And you succeed. And it's only a Tuesday. I fucking hate you. Young people can't get over themselves. They walk around saying, "Here I am. Look, here I am in the kitchen. The thing is, I was just in the bedroom a minute ago." Oh, it's weird, isn't it? Of course it's easier to be young. Of course it is. You're 25 years old, you can do whatever you want. Even your dreams are interesting. You dream that you are Medvedev, half of the tandem, vomiting little Putins who are made out of some indestructible plastic, running up the wall of the Kremlin to replicate themselves forever into eternity, and shitting omelets over the future. And then little Obamas come up the drainpipe wearing Hawaiian headdresses, and they're trying to hypnotize the little Putins with Latin American music that they're making in a special balalaika that they brought with them. It's been tuned to perk up the Putins' ears. I am making this up. And they, exactly. And they, I've just been sentenced to 15 years. And you get old and your dreams become boring. You dream for 6 or 7 hours straight that you're stuck in aisle number 4 of the supermarket going, "Where is the yogurt? Where is the yogurt? Where is the yogurt? Where is the yogurt?" You can't relax. You get old, you can't relax because you can't sleep. How can you sleep? If you're a thoroughly decent person, how can you sleep? You can't because you're worrying about everything. What if this thing happens? What if that thing happens? What if they happen together? You lie in bed at night, you beside your partner, beside your wife or your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, maybe your girlfriends, your boyfriends, it could be plural. What do I know? It could be farm animals in there as well. I'm trying to include everybody. You can't sleep. You think, "Oh no, what if I died? What if I died? How would my family cope? How would my partner cope? How would my children cope?" They wouldn't cope. They'd be outside on the street stealing food from seagulls' mouths in half an hour. Or worse, they would cope. They'd have a much nicer, cleaner house. And then you realize you're lying beside somebody who's, probably when you died, they'd begin a fantastic sexual relationship with somebody else. They'd have a lot of sex in your bed when you were dead. In the morning, the evening, the nighttime, and the afternoon would be the main times they'd be having sex in your bed when you were dead. Feeding each other caviar and blinis to give each other more energy to try it in new and more demanding ways. And you're dead. And you realize you're lying beside somebody who's waiting for you to die. And what's more, they're sleeping to make the time go faster. I'm so glad people who understand this can appreciate it. And for everybody who can't, I can only apologise that my Russian isn't better. I really, really wish it was. But it really won't improve that much at this stage. Because I'm too vastly old. I'm not arguing with you about which age I am. Believe me, I'm too old. But you mean there's still hope for me? I can still have a place here. Maybe I should be an assistant postman in Omsk. If I worked hard enough. Thank you for believing in me, team. So, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. I wrote down 2 words to remind me. Oh yes, children. I was excited about trying to pronounce this. You have children, you don't have children. If you don't have children, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you're a woman, you probably do, because women think about other people. Women think about children, they think about everybody. They imagine what they might feel. If you're a man, you don't care. If you don't have kids, you don't care about kids. I mean, you can tell this when a woman gets pregnant, other women support her. They support her, they help her by coming around and talking to her about every woman they've ever known who got pregnant, and they tell her all the terrible things that happened to that woman. And they say, oh, you'll be great, it won't be like what happened to Ivana. Well, what happened to, I made up the name Ivana, I don't know if that exists. I'm kind of chancing. I'm hoping there's a female version of Ivan. But Marina, I know that's a name. It won't be like what happened to Marina. What happened to Marina? Oh, she was a fool, she drank water, she ate vegetables, the baby came out her ear. It was terrible. She can't sit down now, nobody in the family talks to one another. But that's how they help each other. With men, they don't help each other at all. If you have a child and your male friends come around to your house, they say, what am I doing here? The house is just made up of terrible smells, everybody's wearing bathrobes, there's no food, there's no bar, I can't fuck anybody, why am I here? I don't understand the joy of children, the sheer happiness they give you. These midget drunks, wait a minute, I'm going to try it. These pianic. That's what they are. People who wake you up in the morning by kneeling on your face going, You looked forward to bringing children into the world to teach them about everything. But they don't want to know what you know. They have their own questions. What color is Batman's hair? What do you call the spaces in between the bits that stick out on a comb or a hairbrush? What do you call the space underneath a kettle? Why does Mr. Putin keep Mr. Khodorkovsky in his basement? They have their own questions. For any kind of support. My posters are outside and I'm running for mayor next week. But I'm not. I'm kidding. Although the situation is wide open, there's no doubt about that. But they have their own questions. And the thing about children is they always have a purpose. Adults forget everything. You know? You walk around your own house. You go into a room looking for something. You can't remember what it is. And then you remember it's in another room. And in the time it takes for you to walk to that other room, you forget not only what the thing was, but what the room is as well. So you wander around your own house, your family are looking at you, what are you doing? You go, I don't know. But children always know. You look at the child, you say, where are you going? They say, I'm going over here. Why are you carrying a guitar? Because I'm going to put it in the toilet. They always have a purpose. And you imagine that you will get respect from young people and your own children. And you don't. Because they don't know you're there. They don't respect you. Young people, they don't know you're there if you're an older person because they're too busy with computers and with phones. People don't know how to be alone or in company anymore. When they're alone, they fuck around on a computer. And when they're talking to you, they mess around on a phone. I say to my children, you've been on the computer for 3 hours, what are you doing? I'm downloading a picture of a squid. Why? I don't know, it's just there. Or they talk to you and they're messing and you say, what is this? What are you doing? Oh, it's just an app. Well, what does the app do? It tells me how far away I am from sand. What's wrong with you? What does that one do? It tells you the burning point of celery. You're fucked up, you know that? Nobody understands the word celery. It's no wonder. I mean, there's no point actually understanding what celery is. It's a vegetable. What is it? Celery. Okay, you got it. You and me later. And then, thank you for that support. I really appreciate it. You remind me of those crazy old times in Odessa. But the please, let's not go back there. Set the golden fire and run away. And I'm waiting for them to lay. No, it's turned into a big thing. I invented a whole religious community. But now, ladies and gentlemen. You see, I'm working here. I really am. I'm trying. I'm giving it everything I've got. No. Thank you. Russian people are incredibly giving. This is my experience. They will help you. They will offer support. They see you down. They will offer support. And they ask you for something much bigger later. That is also a joke. Everything I say is a joke. I am not saying anything serious because it's early days in international relations, and I am hoping that we can build bridges. Or if not bridges, at least safe places where we won't all go on fire at the same time. And then, my point is, I'll just think of it now, hang on. When it comes to you like sea life in a way, you just have to express yourself through rippling. Something happens to you, you just shimmy. Anyway, I have a friend. I do. He's my age. He's single, and he's childless. Yes. He is many hundreds of miles away, but there's still hope for you. I hate him a lot because of all the things he doesn't know. He doesn't understand because he was not young, he's my age, he's single and childless, he's a man. And he's very naive. He says very stupid things to me. Like, what did you do at the weekend? And I have to remind him every time I say, well, you know those children you saw me with last time? They're still alive. I didn't do anything. I got into a sleeping bag, but they found me. Okay? So why don't you tell me all about what you did? Tell me all about the latest fucking thing you did. And he says, well, you know, we found this really great place where they make their own vodka out of tomatoes. We walked along the canal. You can get a hot air balloon along the canal. Did you know that? No, I didn't. We went to this club for lunch. It's really great. You know, we saw a gig. Actually, we did a gig. We're in a band now. Me and my girlfriend. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's a really cool band. It's just 13 bass guitars. We went to this very cool club. It's called Umlaut. Well, it's not called Umlaut. It's just two dots over a U that isn't there. And our band is called Black Yogurt. And you know, it's a cellar. We did it in a cellar that's on top of the building. And it was incredibly cool. A lot of people stage dived. There was a lot of sex going on. I didn't give anybody's name, but it was a lot of fun. And then we saw some French films that haven't been made yet. And we ended the evening with some of that Japanese pizza. Have you had it? It's fantastic. It's all on sticks. And then I remember what I did. I think, oh yeah, I know what I did. I scraped cereal off the kitchen table with a ruler. It got stuck for about 5.5 hours, and then I tried to have a shit. It didn't quite work out because there wasn't enough time. But there's a gap on Wednesday. Why don't you come around? We'll have dinner. We can make an evening of it. Sorry, that sounds like it's just a very ordinary day here. No, I don't mean that as I think that I'm losing touch. This is almost like a Cold War. This particular bit of the show, I've disconnected. We've entered another phase of history. At the moment, I am a young, hopeful John F. Kennedy, and power at the time? Who? It was Khrushchev, wasn't it? He was. He was my favorite. I mean, he was just such a, you know, so many badges. And the no, he won't. Look, I won't hear a bad word said. Okay. That's a sinister sound when you hear it said in multiply by people. It sounds like badgers communicating with one another at night. I'm not going to talk about him and what happened that time we went to his statue. He makes his own eggnog. I can't tell you how. But can you stop whispering in the kind of a... Okay, you're not whispering, you're eating. That's fine. Get out. I'm joking! No, it's fine. The call is coming through. It's all over. Everybody has to go home. The thing is, I don't know anymore. I have given up. No, I haven't. It's just after the Cold War. There's a lot of uncertainty. And I suppose what I want to communicate is, in doing this in the first place, is that I'm hoping there isn't that much that's actually that different between us. And I really don't think there is. I can't address all the you know what's gone before in one evening, tempting as that is to try, because there's too much to talk about. You know, there's too much misperception to get through. But I want to thank you all for coming, and I know I seem to be ending on a very down kind of note, but that's traditional in Ireland. We generally what happens is we have a party, then somebody dies, and we mourn them as we leave. Thank you very much for coming. I hope I see you again. Good night. I just wanted a moment of attention as a memorial to all the moments of attention that have gone before. I was talking to you about my friend, and I do have, I understand there's a man shortage in this country, that there's more women than men, and that must be very tedious for women, because, you know, having a choice is a good thing. And even then, it's probably not that great when you're looking at men. But you know, I mean, lots of. I think there's probably the value of men being increased in an unfair way, so that even the shitheads look pretty good right now, and that's not fair. My friend who I mentioned. Said a very stupid thing to me recently. He's the sort of guy who's in love with being in love. You know, he's very romantic. And he was very upset because he gave a woman a present, and he said her reaction wasn't that great. You know, and I said, well, what, did she walk away? What happened? And he said, no, she just said, this is lovely, thank you very much. And he expected more. And I thought this was very immature. You know, in a mature relationship, that's a great reaction. Because usually what happens is, somebody gives you something, you open it, you look at them, and you say, and then they tell you why you should like it. What's wrong with you? Put the coat on, it's fantastic. It takes all the attention away from your face, it hides your ass, put the coat on. It's got big pockets for your self-help books and everything. I got you a new one, I got you personal hygiene for the manically depressed. Put the coat on, you freak. And he's in love with that time in a relationship when you're doing all those things. You're going to the restaurant and you're going to the cinema and romancing each other. You know, you go to the restaurant and you say, tell me all about your fish. Is it delicious? I won't tell you about my fish till you tell me all about yours. It's lovely. Oh, I'm so pleased. They're probably related. They're probably brother and sister. You go to the cinema and you say, what did you think of that scene when the man walked out and then the soldier came into the house and the piano teacher was hiding beneath the bookcase because she knew that he'd seen earlier on that she was making cakes, and he knew that she loved his shoes because she looked in the mirror as yes, you see, we're the same. And that's immature. I go to the restaurant with my wife. She looks to me and she says, what are you eating? What is that? I have a lot of onions having a fight. It's bullshit. Give me that steak. Give it to me. We go to the cinema. She turns around to me and she says, oh, you loved all that shit, didn't you? When the guy was running around killing all those people, you were having a wonderful time, sort of pretending you were him in your head, weren't you? I can see it in your face. You're still trying to do it now. You're wearing that Robert Downey Jr. expression of vague criminality and intense charm. Except when you do it, it looks like you've got hemorrhoids. You disgust me on so many different levels. I had to sit beside you all night as you snarked up popcorn. Snark? What the fuck is snark? You're making this up now. What is snark? Snarking is when somebody laughs and they inhale popcorn at the same time. It's disgusting. And actually distressing to be around. Well, I went to go and see that thing you wanted to see, the Black Swan thing where she's a ballerina and she's dying and it takes about 3 weeks. That was art. It was bullshit. The single best thing that can happen is when you catch the other person having a nap. What? Trying to enjoy yourself in your own lifetime? Are you out of your fucking mind? And because everybody walks around with an obscure sense of guilt, everybody bounces up in bed going, oh, I wasn't asleep. I just lay down and closed my eyes. You weren't asleep? You were fucking snoring. No, that's not true. I don't snore. Really? Well, it took me 5 minutes to pull the curtains out of your mouth. Sounds like 2 rhinos having sex in a giant vat of crisps. I always like to end on a rhino joke. Ladies and gentlemen,